So small forward is in fact the most stacked position in all of NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. We've got absolutely elite players like Dominique Wilkins, Wally Zerbiak, and even Lamar Odom not even cracking the top 10 at this position. Because of guys like Scottie Pippen, Iguodala, AK, and possibly best of all, the trophy case worth. In this video, we are going to be ranking them all from S tier down to worthless tier. And to be completely honest, like, I'm not sure worthless tier is accurate because there are some, I don't think there's any cards that are that bad here. The S tier cards are really the cream of the crop. The great cards, every one of these are legitimately great. Good cards, legitimate good cards. Like, I'm just going to give one hint. Jimmy Butler has been good. We've got usable but meh, and I'm telling you, this is the first time usable but meh are actually usable cards. Lads, I'm telling you, this position is stacked. But anyway, now onto the list. So the first player is Andre Iguodala. We're going to take off a card. We got to go through 50 of these, so we literally have like 30 seconds per player. Iguodala, 3 Hall of Fame badges, absolutely elite half badges. Got clamps, elite on defense, a really nice shooter, really good dunker as well. Jordan dribble style, Pro 2 fade. Andre Iguodala is going to be one of those dudes. He may not be the best player to run in the game right now, but I mean, I think I'm putting him all the way up here in S tier. I think that's where Andre Iguodala belongs. John Havlicek. Now this guy, not quite as high. Not quite as high on Mr. Hondo himself. His release is iffy. It's fine, but it's iffy. Can't dribble. All he does is catch and shoot. He can't even get limitless range. This guy is like a poor man's Rip Hamilton. Sure, he has got the Hoff Leeds badge, but that is about it. He is not that guy. He doesn't have a good release. He's not even the greatest defender in the world. He is mediocre at everything. So John Havlicek is going into the good tier. This position is so stacked. I'm only putting 5 in S that I'm not putting John Havlicek. I don't care that he's a pink diamond. I am not putting him in that second tier. He is by no means in the great tier. Especially when we got someone like Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's going to offer you as much, if not more, than a John Havlicek, with the difference of actually being 6 foot freaking 10, having equally as good a release as him. Like, Chetty Osman base is fine. Osman base is a little bit like, what you call it from last year? It's a little bit like, sure, I'm going to think, base 11 from last year, but it's really fine. Pro dribble style. He's just big. He plays lanes really well. And he's not even top 5, and I'm not even sure you can even debate him top 5, which is why we've got him here. Then we got Mitch Richmond. He got better. Don't get me wrong when it comes to Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond got better. He only had 2 Hoff badges. They're shooting badges. And again, what's it with 2K giving shooters the inability to get limitless range? He doesn't even have comeback kit, doesn't have quick first step, doesn't have any defensive badges. His release is fine. His release is fine. D-Rob release. Gorgie Jang upper is a little bit iffy, but as far as Mitch Richmond goes, I'm going to have to put Mitch Richmond below Hondo. So I don't think he is as good as Hondo in the good tier. Then we've got like a surprisingly good player. It's Matisse Thybulle. So I kind of like Matisse Thybulle's release, and his defense is immaculate. Comes with a lot of really good defensive badges. It's really good. His shooting is fine. Hey, look, I'm going to put him in usable, but meh, because he's not as good as these guys. Not that much worse than Mitch Richmond. He's really not that much worse than Mitch Richmond. Then we got Jimmy Buckets. We have Himmy freaking Buckets, lads. So we have got, I have both versions of Himmy in here. Yes, we have both versions of Himmy Buckets. This version right here, all cold zones. 82 speed, no 3-point shot. Sure, he can defend, but his lack of shooting, he's going to usable, but meh. But this Himmy? Nah, man, this Himmy he's Himmy. 79 3-ball, better defensive stats, same defensive badges. He has, in fact, no cold zones. I'm actually going to put him 1 tier above these guys. I think there's a 2-tier difference. One of these Jimmys is really good. One of these Jimmys is not great. But that's where he's going. I know Ty hates this next guy. Ty absolutely despises Jeremy Sohan. I think his release is so chick. Don't care that it's not slow. I think it's a really good release. He can't dribble at all. But he's going to play absolutely elite defense. Absolutely elite. The problem is no glove. Which makes him really hard to evo. The version I'm using is currently at Saf, or at Amethyst, and I really like him at Amethyst. He's really good. Obviously, when he goes to Hoff, he gets some extra badges. He has Needle Threader, which is a good badge, and has good passing accuracy for small forward. I think he's a really, really effective cone, and a card that is going to go above Jimmy and I actually think, just genuinely, I would choose Sohan over Lamar Odom. I would choose Sohan over him. That's how high I rate Sohan. And then we've got the guy who was considered his like similar player, Andrei Kirilenko. This release, Haywood Highsmith, by the way, is base 29. Base 29 has gone from what was one of the best releases in the game to an absolute dog water release. He is, oh, it's up bad. But on defense, he's that dude. I can't put him up there with Iggy. I actually prefer Jeremy Sohan to him, but he is in that great tier. Trust me, he is really in that great tier, lads. I think that's where he most definitely belongs. So then we have got Mr. Wiggins himself, Andrew Wiggins. So Wiggins got a 78 3 ball, 77 speed, like passable defense. He's got a really good release, so he will hit shots. Jordan dribble style. I don't think this Wiggins is him because he's only 6'7". I think later on in the year, Wiggins really gonna be him. He's probably the worst player we've seen so far, but like, I genuinely don't think that Wiggins is anything like. I don't think Wiggins is a bad player at all. This position is so stacked, by the way. This position is actually so stacked. Antoine Jameson next to the trophy case reward. Huff bully, 81 speed, 81 acceleration, 93 pointer. Really solid defense. Some decent dish defensive badges. Claymore, catch and shoot. Obviously can get limitless. You can get Comeback Kid or the Leeds badge. If you guys don't know, I'll explain it again. Comeback Kid is, I say Leeds is because this is a lead salute. Normally when someone does a lead salute, they hit the chest 3 times and say Leeds. And yeah, that's why it's Comeback Kid is someone doing a lead salute. Or it might mean something else. But as a Leeds fan, it's a lead salute. If you guys are wondering where that's from. But yeah, so Jameson, I think Jameson probably, the way the game's played this year, he's probably top 5. Like his jumper is pretty good, and he got that half bully. So I think he's gonna be very, very effective. And actually, I'm thinking about moving some of these guys down. I love Jimmy Butler, but I'm putting him in good. Just how good players are at this position. I think I might have to move him down as well. And then I think I'm gonna move Wiggins down into not great. Wiggins is not worthless. Wiggins is fine. I'm going to have to do that. Because I'm like Brandon Ingram. It's like, I can't just have everybody in A tier. Brandon Ingram, 85 speed, 85 acceleration, plays no real defense. Isn't not a bad shooter, but not the greatest shooter. His release is fine. His dribbling's pretty good. His fade is Ben McLemore's. I don't know what Ben McLemore's leaner is. He's solid. He is solid. He's going to go... He's a different type of player. If you're asking me who I'd rather on him or Sohan and Kirilenko, the Ingram would probably be lowest on my grade tier for me. Like, Ingram would probably be lowest on that tier for me, but I mean, each to their own. Then we got good old Seti. At least they gave Seti an unbelievable release. Default swing is an unbelievable release, but a 43 point is not going to do anything. Seti Maxwell, what have they done to you? What have they done to you, Mr. Maxwell? Like, they even lowered his wingspan. His wingspan is now 7 foot instead of 7'1". Oh, Seti, what did I do to you? What did I do to you? Then we have pre-order Devin Booker. He's on this list because a lot of people have him. Plays no defense. He does shoot the ball well. For that reason, I'm going to put him into the usable but meh category. I think he's fine. He's probably better than Jimmy, but not as good as Matisse Thybulle. And we got Chris Mullin. This is a really tough player to rank because he shoots the lights out. Release is slow, but it's money. And shoot fades. Every shooting badge other than the leads. He's got okay defense. Like, 83 lateral is fine at this stage of the game. Decent interior. I'm going to say... Ooh. Best of good. And again, this is not a knock on Mullin. If Mullin's your small forward, he's incredible. But if you guys have just look at the players on this list. Look at the players on this freaking list, lads. Like, we are now looking at Dominique Wilkins, who is the most overrated player in the game, man. I'm so happy I sold him. He sucked. I don't have to pretend he was good anymore. He freaking sucked. I got my like 70k from a ball Zach LaVine for it. Profited on LaVine. Wish I'd held on to LaVine for one more day. I would have profited even more, but you live and you learn. But 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 83 3 ball. Defense is fine. He's a mediocre defender. He's a mediocre shooter. He can't even move because he comes with the basic dribble style. Hey, look at this. Other than Hondo, he's like the only non-center or power forward that has the base dribble style. Or basic dribble style. Like, why did they make him a freaking slug? He's going below Jimmy Butler. He's better than Hondo. He's going below Jimmy Butler. On this list. Jimmy Butler is better than Dominique Wilkins. I'm saying that for a fact. And Fred Jones, what did they do to you, man? Like, they gave him a little bit better dribbling, I guess. If you guys don't know, in rosters, Fred Jones is a Kobe Bryant clone. He's a 6'2" Kobe Bryant clone. And when 2K changed his height so that he was his correct height, they gave him all the default animations. And they eventually changed dribble style while giving him a cruise jump shot. Won't play defense, won't shoot. What's his dunk tendency? Because he doesn't dunk. 70 dunk tendency. He doesn't dunk. It's very rare you will dunk with this guy. Fred Jones is a freaking bum. He's better than Cedric Maxwell. But, like, it's not hard to be better than Cedric Maxwell. Hayward. Chick release. Good on defense. Really good shooter. No limitless range. He has no flaws. He's absolutely no flaws in game. So Gordon Hayward is going to go into great. I think I haven't actually used this Hayward. I've used this Hayward, but I've used normal Hayward. I'd probably put Hayward above Odom right here. I'd probably put him there. Then there's a card that I really don't like, and I love playing against him. It's Grant Hill. Like, Grant Hill has Jared Vanderbilt jump shot. I know Kyle Kuzma upper is pretty nice. But, like, anytime I play against Hill, he's been bad. He's expensive. He comes with 3 silver badges. Like, come on. We're looking at, like, 1 Hall of Fame on all the, like, promo Amethyst cards. And then we're looking at 3 silver, 36 bronze on Grant Hill. Man, this card, like... And Jerry Sloan would be ashamed. 2K22 Jerry Sloan would be damn ashamed of these badges. Like, look, stats-wise, he's fine. I think I'm going to put him lowest of good. But he's not really the greatest player now in the world, is he? And speaking of the greatest player in the world, this might be the best player in the game right now. He's got finishing badges rule all for wings. And he's a competent shooter. He's got wall base with a half decent upper. Dribble style is not the greatest, but he just runs to the basket and scores. He's got a huge player build, an absolutely lockdown defender. This is one of the best cards, period, in this game. And if you want to go for AD and you started off with this dude, you're not in a bad spot. Like, I kind of half wish I'd done that because of how many point guards I gotten. And even though I do really want Jimmy, I probably would have rather gotten AD. I wish that I just said, screw it, let me just use the likes of Elton Brand and stuff. If I had it like copped early enough the way the meta was going to be, Worthy, I would have gotten Worthy. I would not have Derrick Rose. I would have James Worthy in my team. And James Worthy is an S tier player, and I have no question. Or I have no doubt about that. He's an S tier player. Then we get Tatum. Tatum's good. Like, Tatum's got a nice jump shot, pro dribble style. I remember I picked him up instead of Kevin Durant, and I was initially like, oh, what am I doing? But Tatum's jumper is really easy. He plays really good defense on the perimeter. Regardless of his badges, he plays nice defense, good player build. This is a really nice base Tatum card. So I'm going to put Tatum best of usable but meh, because I don't actually think he's probably as good as Grant Hill. He's not the greatest. And then this card here, I just don't like, and it's Poole. So 2KDB was down for a little bit of time, but Jordan Poole, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 91 3 ball, doesn't play any defense at all. Sure, he can kind of go to the basket and stuff. He's basically like Victor Oladipo without the defense. I'm going to put him in below Jimmy Butler in good tier. I think that's where he honestly belongs. Like, we got Kawhi Leonard up next. Kawhi is going to just be a clamp god. He's going to guard people. I don't like his release that much. He was a cool day one player. Like, the more I use Kawhi, the more I'm like he's not even as good as Tatum. So Kawhi is going to go into usable, but meh, but he's fine. Don't get me wrong, like, if you really want to use Kawhi, you can, but he's just fine. Then we have got number 1 of the Stash Bros, Kelly Tripucka. Kelly Tripucka is not a great defender, not the worst defender in the world, surprising game, but he's got a good dunk. He's got a really good release. Whatever releases is unbelievable. His shot is really nice. Kelly is not that much worse than a Kawhi Leonard. I'm actually going to put Kelly in, like, high in usable, but meh. And it's just that, again, like, you can see the proportion. It's just we have so many elite players at this position. Then we have got Kiki Vandeweghe. Kiki Vandeweghe genuinely is just a sniper. Doesn't bring anything. He can be a stretch 4 if needed. I think he's better power forward because there's not that many budget stretch 4s in the game. He's a legit one. I think I'm going to put him below Jimmy in the bottom of usable. Meh. Ugh. No, I'm actually going to put him below Wiggins if we're being honest. Being completely honest, I'm going to put him below Wiggins. Next, we've got a guy who does one thing and one thing only, is shoot the ball. I'm not sure how great like shooting the ball is in this game. Like, sure, he's got every shooting badge in the game. His defense is weak. His dunking is non-existent. Sure, his release is fine. He's got Jordan dribble style. But, like, I cannot in good conscience put Kyle Korver more than one spot above Chris Mullin because he's just a better Chris Mullin. Now, like, this is where it gets kind of tough because LeBron James is nice. LeBron's actually good. He's huge. 82 speed, mediocre 3-ball. He's a decent defender. His animations are insane. He dunks on everybody. His release is fine. So if I'm being honest when it comes to LeBron James, I'm probably going to have to go and put LeBron in, like... He's better than... Oh, maybe better than Dom. I'm going to put him one below Dominique. From one below Dominique. That's where I genuinely do think he probably belongs. And then we've got Luka Doncic right here. Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, 79 speed, 79 acceleration, 82 3-ball. Plays no defense whatsoever. Good shooter, though. He doesn't have that many playmaking badges, surprisingly. But he has more shooting badges, despite not being that great a shooter. In real life, I mean, he can hit. That's all he does. Literally all he does. He will hit wide open jump shots. His release is disgusting as well, and it's not glitchy. I'm putting him lowest of usable, but meh. I think he's alright. I think he is perfectly fine, but I don't rate him highly at all. Manu Ginobili, I mean, he dribbles well. He dribbles kind of well. Good escape. His release is disgusting. Attacking the basket, he's fine. He's quick, I guess. Good for mid. Plays no defense, really. He's like a worse Zach LaVine. Not as good as Jordan Poole at the small. No, you know what? He's better. I'll put him in good. We got Michael Finley. So Finley's release is kind of iffy, if we're being honest. I'm not the highest on his release. Like 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 93 3-ball. Like, it's not bad. His defense is good. His shooting's good. The way the game's played this year, he kind of does everything well with Silver Bully. So, as far as Finley goes, I'll put Finley. He's definitely better than Korver. But that's where he's going. Jordan can't really shoot. 63 ball puts him automatically here. And we have Mikal Bridges, which is an interesting one. So Mikal Bridges, again, he's 6'6", can only play small forward. He got like no speed. His defense is pretty solid. He has some decent badges, and his 3-pointer is good. Like, he's not the worst. His release isn't terrible. Like, I actually think Mikal Bridges, he's going in somewhere into usable map, but I'm actually gonna put him ahead of like this Jimmy Butler. He's not actually terrible, if we're being honest. Like, I actually think he is one of those like really interesting cards. And Paul George is another one where if they didn't completely just nerf Paul George's release into oblivion, I hate it this year, he'd be insane. Really good defender, got a lot of good bronze badges. He has some nice shooting badges with Bully, and he's got good size and a good player build. The annoying thing is you can't play him and Kawhi Leonard at the same time. They're both just small forwards, but he's not as good as Kawhi. He's not as good as him. Probably like here. And now this next guy is someone that people really just seem to like, and it's Paul Silas. Paul Silas is going to be an immaculate defender. He's going to play great interior defense, a small forward. The problem is he's a 57 3-ball. Sure, he's got Draymond release. He has Draymond release and base. It's not a difficult release to green, but come on. 57. I don't trust that. I don't trust it at all. I don't think anyone's really using him nowadays. I'm going to actually put him below Jordan because he is that good on defense. I'm going to put him below Jordan. We got Peja Stojakovic. He's got Jeff Green base or Fournier base, which is iffy. His jumper is really good. He is basically a slightly better on defense, 6'9", and so taller Kyle Korver. At the small forward position, I think I'm putting him at the very end of great. If this is a 2-guard list, I would not put him here. But it's a small forward list, so I'm going to put him in the best of great. But when we're talking about shooters that are going to be somewhat high on this list, Rashard Lewis is one of them. Rashard Lewis is one of the easiest releases in the game to green because of his upper is just unbelievable. Every shooting badge you need, other than lasers leads, a pretty solid defender, can play at the 3, is a stretch 4, and stretch 4s are like freaking gold dust in this game. Not that many good ones. When I say good ones, I mean like actual good ones, because if you want to use a Kevin Love, he's going to get burned on the other end. If you want to use and then he can also shoot from deep, which is actually a big plus for someone like him. So when it comes to Rashard Lewis, I'm putting Rashard Lewis at the very top of great with the potential to get moved up. Oh, I don't know. It's between him and Richard Jefferson. It's between... No, actually, it's not. I just missed 2. No, I know who my last 2 are. It's neither of those. Next, we have got... It's Reggie Lewis. Reggie Lewis, one of like the GOATs from back in the day. Look, he can't shoot the ball. He can kind of shoot, I guess. Because Kuzma upper kind of makes any release good. Kuzma upper is the old base. The old upper 8, I'm pretty sure. But his defense is meh. Player build's nice. Yeah, I love Reggie Lewis, man. I've loved Reggie Lewis in 2K since the dawn of time. But I'm going to have to put him above Fred Jones. He's not Fred Jones bad. He's pretty bad, though. He is pretty bad. Then there's Rip Hamilton. You just put range. You need to put range on him. You put range on this guy, he gives every shooting badge. He's like the best defender of them all. Probably the best shooter of them all. You know, he has the normal dribble style in terms of just like some animations, pro to leaner. As far as shooters go, he's way better than the Corber. Not as tall as a Page, so I'm going to put him in the great tier, but I think he's going to offer more, especially a small forward, than a Jordan Poole will. Next, we have got a guy that was freaking carried in 2K22, Jefferson. Richard Jefferson. 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 91 3 ball. Aerial wizard, fast twitch. He's going to shoot the ball. He's going to have great defense. Stats-wise, other than Worthy, not even other than Worthy, he's the best. The issue is that Larry Bird upper is disgusting. It is disgusting. Like, I cannot put him in S tier. Purely about how disgusting that release is. He's got everything else going for him. He probably goes... I actually think Lewis probably offers that a little bit more. Maybe not for in your offense tier, but just in general, he's going to go there. And next we've got the second member of the Stash Bros this year. We've got Robert Reed. 74 speed. His stats are awful. He's a 6'8" shooting guy, one of the best releases in the game. That's basically it. And that actually puts him better than Paul George. He's better than Kelly. And he's better than Kawhi. I think, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this position for him. Rudy Gay. Big player build. I'm putting him here because he's got a low 65 3-point range. Big player build, he's alright. Scotty Barnes, a player that a lot of people like in this game. Scotty Barnes. He got good speed, plays good defense. His jumper is fine. Scotty Barnes released very like a left or right-handed Odom. Really good in defense. He's also got Jordan dribble style, but he's mostly used as a lock, and he's a very damn good lock. So for me, though, I'm probably going to put Scotty Barnes in... Look, if I've got him here... I actually think Scotty Barnes is better than Dominique. I think I'm on the minority of that, but I also don't think Scotty Barnes... I'll put Scotty Barnes here. Let's put Scotty Barnes in good tier. And again, like the gap between, say, like a Scotty Barnes and a Rashard Lewis is not that big. Like, these guys in good tier can hoop. This is a freaking stacked tier list. And speaking of S tier, freaking Scottie Pippen. The release is so nice. The dribbling solid. His defense is the best in the... His defense is not the best in the game. The best defender in the game is Marcus Smart. But his defense is up there with the best in the game. Scottie Pippen is an S tier player. And I'm gonna... If I was to rank S tier, I would go Scottie 1. No, I would go Worthy 1, Scottie 2, Iggy 3, Jameson 4. Yeah, that is how I would rank S tier. And then, oh, now this guy. Oh, don't get me started on this guy. This guy goes into my S tier of 2 guards list if I made that list today. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 87 3 ball, 91 perimeter defense, half guard up, every shooting badge other than limitless range. But if you guys watch my gameplay on my second channel, I'm pulling from 4 with this guy. I'm freaking wagering. I'm so confident in this guy, I'm wagering him against Tanaka tomorrow. Like, I'm confident. He's one of the few players I'm actually confident using in 2K22, which is crazy. His release is super nice. It's not slow at all. People are like, oh, it's kind of bait. No, it's not. His dribbling is good. He's maybe not a primary ball handler. He's one of the best defenders in the game. He defends better than Marcus Smart. Player build is really nice. Oladipo, because he's 6'4", I think at small forward, he's the least effective player in great, but I'm not putting him below great. He's way better than Jordan Poole. He's way, way better than Jordan Poole, so I cannot, in good conscience, put him below that. And we got Vinsanity. 88 3 ball, really good release. Really good dunker. He actually comes with Michael Jordan dribble stats, so he can actually burst properly out of things. He can move really well. He's got the Kobe escape. Now, Vince Carter is legit. Not a great defender. Not a bad defender either. Decent player build. Like, he's legit. Like, Vince Carter is going below Iguodala and below Scottie Pippen and Worthy, but above Antoine Jameson as the 4th best small forward in the game. You might think that's crazy, but I'm putting him in as the 4th best small forward in the game. Then we have got the biggest chicken man in the game. Maybe the biggest chicken man this entire game is Wally Szczerbiak. So Wally Szczerbiak has got the full swing Kendrick Nunn with Jordan dribble style. He also comes with a normal leaner. If he had hot zones everywhere outside the 3, I would say he's the best shooter in my team. Half limitless range, passable defense, half decent player build. Dude 6'7". So like, he's somewhere in the great tier. And I'm actually putting him ahead of Ingram. He's the same height as Ingram, but he does almost everything better than Ingram, except dunk the ball. It's not his game though. It's not his game. Let's move him below Finley and above Peja. Like, at the same time, I'm like, look, the way the shooting is, it's not his game for most people. So he's the best at what he does, but what he does is not as OP as what other people do. Then we have actually got a really, really nice player here. We've got X-Man. We have got X-Man. Xavier McDaniel. 82 speed, 82 acceleration. The guy's got 81 lateral, 85 driving dunk, Isaiah Roby release, which is so cash. He's such a good defender. He's such a big player build. He's such a good rebounder. I'm going to have to put him in I think X-Man probably goes in he's better than Grant Hill. He's in good. Screw it. X-Man's better than Scotty Barnes. X-Man, you get him below Dominique, because I don't think he's quite as good as Dominique. Then we got a guy that I still have to, even a small forward, I have to put this guy in a high tier. Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine is just so nice in terms of creating a shot. Zach LaVine on quick. Zach LaVine dribble style. Zach LaVine everything. I actually really, really rate this guy. I think he's a really good player. Bailout, clamp breaker, quick first step. He's solid, man. He's solid. He's not the worst defender in the world. You can get away running a small forward if you run the right guys to 1 to 2. And I'm going to have to just, for pure offensive reasons, put him above Ingram, but below Odom. In that position. Last up is Kukoc. So Kukoc is more of a stretch 4. He's got that length, but he's a money shooter. So he's got Kukoc release, which feels kind of new. It feels a little bit like last year's Lopez base, but not too much. Speed's okay. The problem is he's weak. He's not the greatest defender, although his stats actually are better than I thought on defense. But he's a really good shooter. Kukoc is probably going to go somewhere in here. Better than Hill, better than both of these. Better than Braun, maybe? Worse than Braun. So I'm going to put him in the good tier. So this is the tier list. If you guys are wondering why I have so many, this is the most, for people wondering why I put guys that are really good in the good tier, this is the most symmetrical tier list I've ever made. We have the exact same amount of players in the top and bottom tier. And we also have the exact same amount of players in the 3 middle tier. There will never be a more symmetrical tier list in my team, or more normally distributed than this. There will never be a better distributed tier list than this. It's literally like goes up, levels off, goes down at the exact same rate. You'll never see a more evenly distributed one than this. But in my opinion, the best small forward in the game is Worthy, then followed by Scotty. If you can run these two, you're great. Heck, Iguodala's freaking him as well. So many absolute elite cards at this position that you can run a lot of these guys and use well above Met and be fine. That is how good this position is. If you don't have a good small forward, it's on you. It's not on the game, because there are 35 good ones. It's the one position where you actually can probably run a budget player and survive. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.